for today's tutorial, I wanted to bring you a waterproof foundation routine for acne. This is different than other waterproof foundation routines because it's specifically meant if you do have blemishes that you need to cover up, and if you really want some full coverage that's going to last through swimming, whether you're at the beach or at the pool, or just having fun in the sun. So I'm coming to you with just foundation. I'm not doing eyes or any blush or anything like that, but this is a waterproof acne foundation tutorial that you can use to make sure that you stay covered while you're in the pool or in the water. Alright, so the first thing when it comes to waterproof makeup that's also going to help your acne is the primer. Primer helps your makeup last all day, but it'll also help it last through water. It'll create a barrier and it'll really soak into your skin. Now, the one I'm using is from Bare Essentials, or I'm sorry, Bare Minerals. This is the Blemish Remedy Mattifying Prep Gel. It's mattifying, which means it's really long wearing and will stay on the skin, and it actually contains different acne fighting ingredients so that way it will help your acne, whether or not you're going in the water. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this and apply it all over my face. Once you have your primer on, it's really important to conceal. Concealing will not only help with your acne, but it'll also act as your contour and highlight. If you're going underwater and in the water, contour and highlight that's made of powder can come off. So if you use different actual concealers to contour and highlight your face, it'll soak into your skin a lot better, and there's a much better chance that it will remain waterproof, whether you're in the ocean, whether you're in the sun, whether you're in a pool, or just plain water. I'm personally using the Bobbi Brown BBU palette. I would personally recommend using whatever concealer you like for your blemishes, and then a concealer that's a little bit lighter than your skin and one that's a little bit darker than your skin. I really like the kind of cream concealer formula because that will really make sure that it's waterproof and it soaks into the skin well. But I'm just going to take kind of a foundation brush, and I'm also going to be using a sponge to press this into my skin. So I'm going to start with kind of the colors that naturally match my skin. And this is going to just make sure that I cover up all these pimples, so that way, whether or not I'm in the water, no one can see that I have acne. Now that I have concealer on my biggest blemishes, it's time to press this in. Pressing in with your fingers or with a sponge will ensure that this kind of soaks into your skin more, so it's more waterproof as well as looking more natural. Once that's pressed in to conceal blemishes before foundation, we are then going to make sure that we contour and highlight. Like I said, if you're using a powder or something over the top, sometimes that can come off in the water. But if you do use a cream, especially something with a concealer consistency that's really going to stay thick, it'll stay on throughout the water. So I'm going to take a couple of the lighter colors and just mix them together, and I'm going to apply this to the highlights of my face. So then, again, we're just going to make sure that we press this into our skin so that it looks natural. Again, I've used a color that's a little bit lighter than my skin naturally, just to create that perfect highlight. You want to leave this a little bit thicker as well, so that way it does show through any sheer foundation that we're going to put on next. When it comes to concealing the under eye area, I just like to use the cream concealer as well, and I'm just kind of pushing what's left on the sponge up under my under eye area. Next, the exact same thing for contour. Go in a little bit deeper and take the colors where you would naturally contour your face. Once you've done that, take your sponge and again press this in. Because it's contour, it's a little bit darker, so also shear this out onto the rest of the face, and we'll put foundation over the top just to lighten it up and seal everything in. If you've found that you've overdone a little bit of contour, it's totally fine to go back in with a lighter concealer and just kind of touch that up. And whether you use your fingers or a brush, just really mend this in so it looks natural. And just blend until the color is right. Next, Next, it is time to finish with foundations. There are two that are on the market that I think are really, really good for waterproof. The first one is the Makeup Forever HD. This is a silicone base, which I love. The silicone base makes your skin look really smooth. It's a little bit thicker, so it's very covering if you have acne, and it's also very water resistant, and it's fantastic. Another great one that's a little bit lighter is the Smashbox Camera Ready BB Cream. This is amazing, but it's a little bit lighter. Because we have more concealer on that's covering, I am going to be using this one. If you want something really full coverage, I would go with this. The other reason that I'm choosing this one is because it has SPF 35 in it. And if you're going to be in the water, you're most likely at the pool or at the beach or somewhere where the sun is shining. And so just to protect your skin, because we don't want to put a sunscreen underneath all this, otherwise it won't stay out through the water, I'm just going to apply a little bit of this over top. And because we have so much concealer on, our blemishes won't show through. So I'm just going to dispense a little bit of this onto my hand and then tap this on with this brush. It is actually a pretty full coverage foundation or BB cream, but it does also sheer out well. So you have two different options depending on what you like. I personally think that this is the best for waterproof makeup. There are a couple of other lines out there as well, but this is one of the best. And because it is a BB cream, it does have other ingredients that are great for your skin overall, in addition to having the SPF, which is fantastic for fun in the sun. If you'd like, you can also take a foundation brush and sheer this out. I'm also sweeping just a little bit of what's left on the stippling brush over my eyes. Even though I won't be going into blush or eyeshadow in this tutorial, this is one of the first steps to making sure that your eyeshadow lasts in the water, so that if you do decide to do the rest of your makeup, your eyeshadow won't come off in the pool. If you just apply eyeshadow, it usually comes off in the pool. You could apply like a 24-hour primer. Smashbox has this 24-hour photo finish primer, which is good, but I really like foundation because this will make sure that your eyeshadows that you apply on top will last all day long. Once your foundation is on, it is time to apply powder. I am using the Studio Fix from MAC. This is definitely not the best for acne, but it is the best to cover acne, and it definitely makes sure that your makeup will stay in place. This contains both silica and talc, which means the silica is going to make your skin look smooth and it's going to last a long time. And the talc may come off a little bit in the water, but it's really going to mattify this look and really keep it long wearing, at least up to 8 hours without the water, and for quite a few hours in the water as well. So I'm taking a very dense brush and I'm actually going to press this into my skin. Instead of sweeping or dusting on naturally, I'm really pressing this into the foundation. The foundation is dried for maybe 3 minutes, and I'm just going to really press this into those pores to make this last. This is a great way to cover up any acne and blemishes. It's a great way to make this last all throughout the water. Even though it's powder, it will stay on if applied in this manner, and it'll also cover those blemishes. Once that's been applied, you can sweep this on a little bit just to make it look more natural, but overall this sets the look. The very last step before you go have fun in the sun is to apply a setting spray. Now, if you were going to apply blush, or if you were going to apply eyeshadow or other things, do any powders before you do this step. For instance, blush or eyeshadow, I would actually recommend using a liquid blush and eyeshadow right over the foundation base to make sure it lasts a long time. A cream eyeshadow is a great idea, and then you can set the cream with a powder, but we're not getting into that in this video. So before you break out your waterproof mascara, I am using the Urban Decay setting spray. This is the De-Slick Makeup Setting Spray, and I'm just going to spray this on in my entire face. I'm going to let this dry for just a minute, but this is going to really lock all of this in. Even though it's wet, you know, it's a liquid product, it dries onto your skin and seals this all day. So now you have the perfect waterproof foundation. Even if you have acne, this should cover up, and this should also stay intact, whether you're at the beach, whether you're swimming, as long as you don't start rubbing your face. Even if you bump up against someone, this should conceal any of those pimples. I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial and can use it for the summer or vacation or wherever you may be. And if you have any comments or requests, be sure to leave them in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all at the pool. Love you guys. Bye.